Welcome, class, to a workshop on Coach Joe rules. In this lesson, we will review Coach Joe rule number 35, which states, try for 100% code coverage. Developers should aim to thoroughly test the application with 100% code coverage. It turns out 100% coverage is typically unrealistic and not ideal for these reasons: quality, time, and priorities. A code coverage report with very high coverage does not equal a bug-free application, nor does it mean the tests are of high quality. Look at this simple addition method. This test will cover these lines of code and it will pass. Looking closer will reveal a poor quality test that fails to identify a bug. Management will wonder why bugs are being reported when the code coverage is at or near 100%. Team members might lose confidence with the testing process and find it useless. It takes time to write unit tests to cover all the code. Some tests are easy to write and take little time. There are some complex tests that are more time-consuming. As the percentage of lines covered goes up, it becomes increasingly more difficult to cover the remaining lines. At some point, you should start to consider the return on investment. Spend days or weeks covering every line, or, instead, push out a new feature story. In the end, developers should be focusing their time on important and relevant work. You should begin to realize for most applications, 100% code coverage with quality tests is unrealistic, difficult, and time-consuming. To add to the confusion, there is no standard. Individuals, teams, and companies might have their own standard, but there is no agreed-upon industry standard. One thing is clear: 0% is bad, and 100% may not be realistic. Many experts agree 60 to 90% is a good target range. The generally accepted number that appears from most sources, 80%. The situations, languages, and reasons why this number keeps showing up are different, but consider this: return on investment. Testing is still important, but all code is not equal. A good return on the time invested for testing should be spent in these areas. Newly written code should be properly tested. Remember, tests are meant to prove code works and identify bugs before the users find them. Invest the time now. Critical areas of the application should have high code coverage and quality tests. It's a critical area. Frequently changing code should also have high coverage and quality tests. This code is always changing. It makes sense to spend more time here. What about legacy applications with little or no code coverage? Is this a problem? No, don't worry about the low code coverage. What is the purpose of unit tests? To prove the code works and discover bugs before the users find them. Except this application has been deployed for a long time. If bugs exist, users would have reported them to the help desk long ago. It's a little late now to write tests when the users already did that work. Backfilling these tests may not be a high priority. When trying to improve legacy application code coverage, like with newer applications, focus on tests and code coverage for new changes, critical application areas, and frequently changing code. The legacy application may never achieve 80%, but over time, the code coverage numbers will begin to improve. I challenge you to aim for 100% code coverage, but realistically, make sure the critical and frequently changing code is covered. Leave a comment down below with you and your team's code coverage goals. Look for other helpful Coach Joe videos. Remember, future senior developers, make it work, prove it works, then make it better.
Ready, break!